The 5 steps to achieve peak mental performance. Here they are. Number 1, you need to get the big picture. You need to understand the big picture of your goals. We'll talk about that in detail. That's number 1. Number 2, you need to have the mental fuel, and I'll tell you how you can get the mental fuel. Next, you need to have laser sharp focus. This is one of the topics that I really like. Number 4 is what I call as skill building plus LIHO. And number 5 is reflect. And my belief is if you ensure you have all these 5, I can tell you that you will be able to achieve any goals that you have in your life, irrespective of how big they are, how bold they are, and how far outreaching that you might be thinking these goals are right now in your life. You can definitely achieve them if you use these 5 steps to achieve peak mental performance. So let's get started with the first one, the big picture. Many people, when they want to work on their goals, what happens? They might not have a big strategy, and if you don't have a big strategy, what happens is you end up working most of the time on your urgent tasks, urgent activities. Now, some of you might be very familiar with this very popular concept called as the Eisenhower matrix, importance and urgency matrix. If you don't have the big picture, what happens is we end up spending most of our time on doing the urgent things. For example, you start your workday, and then what happens is you open up the email program and you're answering the emails, or you're taking the phone calls. These are not things that actually will contribute to you for your big goal that you have in your life. Now, these are necessary. I'm not saying that don't do them. Of course, you have to do them. But the question is, it's about priority. It's about when to do what, and that is very important. Now, what happens is, if you have the big strategy, if you have the big picture, then you will be working on most of the time on the important tasks. And that is what we want. Now, urgent tasks will keep on coming. Every day, you'll actually have a pile up of urgent tasks that are actually going to fill your work day. And if you always working on urgent tasks, what happens? It's like firefighting. You're fighting fires all the time, and you don't have the time for laying out a strategy. Now, here's my technique for you. This is what you need to do. And this is only going to take a couple of days for the whole year. For the whole year, you only need to maybe take it 2 or 3 days, and you can actually have what I call as the big picture. And a big picture is very simple. Sit in a place, lock yourself in a room if you want to for 2 days, and what you need to find out what are your 3 biggest goals you want to achieve in this year. What are your 3 biggest goals? Now, I know some people, you're very ambitious. You might want to achieve 10 goals. That's perfectly fine too. It's always good to be ambitious. But for using this strategy, I would say, okay, if you have 10 goals, then you need to number them. Okay, if I had to choose only one goal, what would that be? That'll go straight number 1, prioritization. What is number 2? What is number 3? So you need to identify 3 goals, and you need to clearly establish how you will know that you have achieved these goals. It has to be crystal clear. Now, the more clarity you have, the better and the faster things are going to be for you in your life. So this is a very, very important step. Now, here's the thing. If you do not have crystal clear, absolute clarity on what your 3 goals are, then you will still end up most of the time doing urgent tasks. And we don't want that to happen. So this process might take 1 day for some people, 2 days for some people, maybe 3 days or maybe more. Maybe sit with your partner, sit with your boss, sit with your whoever significant other in your life, and really understand what your 3 big goals are, because that is what will set the base for you. Because if you don't have a strategy, it's difficult for you to win the game. That is a starting point. So here's my question for you. Right now, do you have the 3 big goals that you want to achieve in your life?